Welcome back to another episode of the only show I know that you can watch me ride around on 92 cubic inches of American muscle through some of the most beautiful places on God's green earth while we read the Bible together. This is Wrenchin' and Riding TV. Today we're going to start off in Genesis 14 and 1. The Wars of the Kings. And it came to pass in the days of Amraphel, king of Shinar, Arioch, king of Eliezer, Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of the nations, that these made war with Bera, king of Sodom, and with Bersha, king of Gomorrah, Shinab, king of Admah, and Shemabar, king of Zebolim, and the king of Bela, which is Zoar. All these were joined together in the vale of Siddim, which is the Salt Sea. 12 years they served Chedorlaomer, and in the 13th year they rebelled. And in the 14th year came Chedorlaomer, and the kings that were with him, and smote the Rephaims, and Ashtaroth, Karnaim, and Zuzims in Ham, and the Imims in Sheva Kirathaim, and the Horites in their Mount Seir, unto El Paran, which is by the wilderness. And they returned and came to En-Mishpat, which is Kadesh, and smote all the country of the Amalekites, and also the Amorites, that dwelt in Hazazon Tamar. And there they went out, the king of Sodom, and the king of Gomorrah, and the king of Admah, and the king of Zebolim, and the king of Bela, the same is Zor. And they joined battle with them in the vale of Siddim, with Chedorlaomer, the king of Elam, and with Tidal, king of nations, the Amraphel, king of Shinar, and Arlon, king of Elazar, 4 kings with 5. And the vale of Siddim was full of slime pits. And the king of Sodom and Gomorrah fled, and fell there. And they that remained fled to the mountain. And they took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah, and all their victuals, and went their way. And they took Lot, Abram's brother's son, who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods, and they departed. And there came one that had escaped, and told Abram the Hebrew, for he dwelt in the plain of Mamre, and the Amorite, brother of Eshcol, the brother of Aner, and these were confederate with Abram. When Abram heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed his trained servants, born in his house, 318, and pursued them into Dan. And he divided himself against them, he and his servants, by night, and smote them, and pursued them unto Habah, which is on the left hand of Damascus. And he brought back all the goods, and also brought again his brother Lot, and his goods, and the women also, and the people. Melchizedek blesses Abram. Genesis 14 and 17. And the king of Sodom went out to meet him after his return from the slaughter of Chedorlaomer, and the kings that were with him at the valley of Shavah, which is the king's dale. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High God. And he blessed him and said, Blessed be Abram of the Most High God, possessor of heaven and earth. And blessed be the Most High God, which hath delivered thine enemies into thy hand. And he gave him tithes of all. And the king of Sodom said unto Abram, Give me the persons, and take the goods to thyself. And Abram said to the king of Sodom, I have lifted up my hand unto the Lord, the Most High God, the possessor of heaven and earth, that I will not take from a thread even to a shoe latchet, and that I will not take anything that is thine, lest thou shouldest say, I have made Abram rich, save only that which the young men have eaten, and the portion of the men which were with me, Aner, Eshcol, and Mamre. Let them take their portion. So we get a little tiny taste of Melchizedek. Some people believe it was the first incarnation of Jesus. Just get a brief touch of it here that Abraham gave him tithes. He was priesthood. Now we're at Genesis 15:1. The covenant with Abram. After these things the word of the Lord came unto Abram in a vision, saying, Fear not, Abram, I am thy shield and thy exceeding great sword. And Abram said, Lord God, what wilt thou give me, seeing I go childless, and the steward of my house is this Eliezer of Damascus? And Abram said, Behold, to me thou hast given no seed, and lo, one born in my house is mine heir. And behold, the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, This shall not be thine heir, but he that shall come forth out of thine own bowels shall be thine heir. And he brought him forth abroad, and said, Look now towards heaven, and tell the stars, if thou be able to number them. And he said unto him, So shall thy seed be. And he believed in the Lord, and he counted it to him for righteousness. And he said unto him, I am the Lord that brought thee out of Ur and Chaldees, to give thee this land to inherit it. And he said, Lord God, whereby shall I know that I shall inherit it? And he said unto him, Take me a heifer of 3 years old, and a she-goat of 3 years old, and a ram of 3 years old, and a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. And he took unto him all these, and divided them in the midst, and laid each piece one against another, but the birds divided he not. And when the fowl came down upon the carcass, Abram drove them away. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram. And lo, a horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, Know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also the nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance, and thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace. Thou shalt be buried in a good old age. But in thy fourth generation they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of all the Amorites is not yet full. And it came to pass that when the sun went down, and it was dark, behold, a smoking furnace and a burnt lamp that passed between those pieces. And the same day the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, Unto thy seed I have given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river and the river Euphrates, the Kenites and the Kenizzites and the Cadmonites, and the Hittites and the Perizzites and the Rephaims, and the Amorites and the Canaanites and the Girgashites and the Jebusites. So that was Genesis 15. He gave him all the land, and he's about to change his name, and he'll change Sarai's name to Sarah as well here. I'm running out of time. This Genesis is very, like the lineage and stuff. It covers a lot of ground, so you have to think when you're doing this, the amount of ground that we've covered in just one short book of the Bible. And we're missing a lot of stuff because I'm not speaking in Hebrew, and names have so much significance in Hebrew. But I'd like to let you know, if you want to subscribe, hit the subscribe button, hit the notifications for notifications when I put up videos. Thank you for tuning in today, and I hope that you have a blessed day.